Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are finally doing the first part of my long-awaited Jujutsu Kaisen manga review. I know it's been a minute since I've done a review video, and I've been trying to read JJK over the last few days. So this video will be reviewing the first 6 volumes. So for those of you wondering why I'm only covering the first 6 volumes in this video, to be honest, it's because I thought that the first 6 volumes contained everything that was shown in the first season of the anime. Turns out it's actually volume 7 where the anime ends, and I completely, didn't know that at all. And I didn't feel like, going back and changing my thumbnail and stuff like that. So that was my bad, but yeah, so it's not going to cover everything that the anime in the first season showed, but it'll cover most of it. I think volume 6 ends, I just read volume 6, but volume 6 does end with like the conclusion of the Hanami fight, so, again, towards the end there, so yeah. Anyways guys, let's get right into the review. As per usual, the first part of a review that I do for a manga series will be more of like a general review sort of thing, stuff that applies to the series overall, rather than, the specific content. Also, there will be more, I'll talk about the content as well, but I'm going to start by talking about stuff that applies to the series as a whole. And as a common theme throughout. So firstly, the thing that had me scared the most going into JJK was the art. Now, after reading JJK 0, I did a video on it, talking about JJK 0, the manga, as well as the movie. But the JJK 0 manga definitely had pretty sloppy art, which the art in JJK 0 was definitely not the greatest. But I can definitely tell that it does improve a lot throughout the main series. It does get better, but I think where the series really struggles is in fight scenes, especially like close combat. I don't know what's happening a lot of the time. I can figure it out, but like it's not very clean at all. And it just doesn't look good. Now, that being said, character designs, I love the way the character designs look. They all look very cool, gritty and I don't know how else to describe it. Just very shonen-y and gritty at the same time. Big fan of the character designs and more, when the characters are standing still or in a cool pose or something, then the art is pretty dope. But when there's a lot going on in an action sequence and they're shooting powers at each other and stuff like that, yeah, it's not very good artwork, in my opinion. Now, this is something that might get better as I read on. I'm not sure, but as of right now, yeah, that's just my opinion on the artwork. Not the biggest fan of it. The next problem I did have with JJK so far, which is something that I may have covered in my review of JJK 0, that is the power system. Now, usually, as what I understand, Shonen Jump series are usually pretty self-explanatory with power systems. Dragon Ball Z, you just got ki. That just makes sense. It's basically the same as chakra or mana or whatever it may be. It's basically the same in every series. Or, you got something like My Hero, which it's just different superpowers. It just makes sense. But I think the cursed energy system in JJK starts off being pretty simple, but then starts to get very complicated, with different people's abilities and how they use it. So the whole basic idea is that you would channel negative emotions into like power, and that's really cool. I dig that idea. But then they start talking about how like you're supposed to be able to use your negative emotions to like bend space and time like Gojo, or to open up pocket dimensions using your emotions. And that I don't understand. Like the whole domain expansion, I don't understand it like whatsoever. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like how are you doing that with your emotions, like curse energy? I don't know, stuff like that. I don't know if it's, I feel like it's trying to be more complicated than it needs to be, or more abstract. It's just kind of confusing for no reason. Another thing, and maybe I think this is, this isn't really a problem with the manga, but more so just a problem with me as a reader, and something I struggle with when reading manga, and that is, it's usually shonen, and like, I mean, not just shonen, but manga in general, especially like action series, or a lot of the series that I have read try and present characters with like these different philosophies, and it just almost never lands with me, like, at all, and I usually are just kind of like, I don't understand what they're talking about. Like stuff, I remember, I forget his name, I might throw a picture up on screen, but the guy who was using the poison jellyfish and working with, what's his name, Mahiko? I think Mahiko is his name, but the guy that was working with him that befriends Yuji, again, I'll show a picture on screen. His whole philosophy about people deserving to die, he was just talking about it. I understand what he was talking about. Similarly, like, I don't know, like the villain philosophies, even in when I was reading through Naruto, the whole pain arc, I didn't even know what he was talking about, honestly. I mean, by the end, I understood what Nagato was talking about, how, like, the cycle of hatred, but, like, I don't know, I feel like villains and characters, when they're talking about their philosophies, it's almost like they're speaking in riddles, and it's like, I don't know. Again, I think this is just, like, a reading comprehension problem that I have with, like, this format. And I've run into similar problems with reading Vinland Saga, and I've needed some explanation, especially like with Canute. But yeah, I think this is more so just a me problem, but that's something that I've struggled with reading in JJK and many other series as well. So as you guys can see, there was a bit of a time skip. One broken foot later, and I am finally back. And to be honest, I kind of forgot what I was talking about. So JJK is a series so far. Now that I got done giving, an explanation of problems I have with it, talk about some of the stuff that I do like, and just my overall thoughts of everything that I've read so far. So JJK isn't bad. I quite like it. It's good for what it is. I will say that I think the anime adaptation is far better. Again, because the whole point of an anime is to put what's on the pages into movement, and like, the way it's played out, you can see it happening. And with JJK, like I said before, action sequences are a lot of times very messy, and I don't really like that part about it. The anime does it justice, and I think is the superior way to experience the series, though the manga is, again, not bad. I have enjoyed it so far. It's not the most original thing I've ever read. I mean, it's a shonen series. Basically, all shonen series are the same, like Shonen Jump series, Shonen Battle series, whatever. They're all basically the same, just reskinned. So, I mean, none of them are really original, but, this does draw a lot of comparisons. I've seen the meme with it that has, like, Team 7 from Naruto right next to the squad from JJK, and yeah, it's basically the same, but Again, that's not to say that it's not good. I think that when JJK decides to actually be, really good, it's really good. I will say though that I definitely think at least the manga is pretty overhyped. The anime was fire. It was very good. Had a great opening. Everything about it beautifully animated. The fights were awesome. The manga, however, does suffer. Yeah, it hasn't been a bad read so far, but definitely overhyped by the community. And I guess the last thing that I'm kind of going to talk about in this video, and it's really the only thing that's I find super interesting so far, that I'm, a bit of a mystery factor, is Gato. Now, spoiler alert for those of you who haven't read or watched JJK Zero yet, Gato is the main villain in Zero, and he was supposed to have been killed at the end. Gojo has a run-in with him, and he's like, yo, kinda gotta kill you. And then, so we assume that he dies, and that Gojo kills him. Obviously, Gato's back, and that was like a prequel. So if he's alive here, either A, Gojo couldn't kill his best friend, he didn't have the strength to do it, or he tried to, thought he was dead, and this dude came back to life or survived somehow. So yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens if Gato has another run-in with Gojo, and we see what happens between the two, or everybody will be like, hey, Gato was supposed to be dead, what's up with that? Or if Yuta comes back at some point, the protagonist from JJK Zero, if he meets Gato again in battle, and maybe Gato is even stronger now, and obviously Yuta has gotten stronger, because he's mentioned quite a few times, so yeah, we'll just have to see what happens with that. But yeah, guys, that's going to be about it for my review today. I'm going to get back into reading it here soon, and hopefully finish it up, and do my final review on it. So far, it's been kind of like an 8 out of 10 read. Not quite mid, but it's low-key mid, but it's not mid. It's better than mid, but I don't know, very overhyped. Go watch the anime. I'd recommend the anime over the manga, definitely. And I think that once the anime starts getting into stuff that's happening right now in the manga, because I've heard, Shibuya arc kind of popping off. So whenever the anime gets to that point, it's going to be insane, and it'll probably be the biggest show again for a while. So yeah, we'll just see what happens with that. What happens, don't know, but yeah, that is my review, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.